Okay, so this is the question. Now, this is a whole number for 143,000. And we learned that for whole numbers, right, when there are zeros at the back, okay, sometimes we count it as significant, sometimes we don't count it as significant. Okay, and in this particular question, they didn't even tell you, okay, how many significant figures it was rounded off to. They asked you for the possibility. So if you remember, okay, there was once we got to raise the figures, right? I asked you to raise your QR code thing. Okay, I also asked you a similar question before. Okay, how many significant figures could it actually have? We know for sure that our 1, 4, and 3 we must count it as significant. Agree? Okay, whereas for the zeros, it depends. So sometimes we can count this, sometimes we can count this, sometimes we can count this. But the minimum number, okay, what is the minimum number of significant figures this number should have? It should be 3, right? Because this 3 must definitely count it. Okay? Then the only other variation is based on the 0. So that means that sometimes there can be 4, sometimes 5, or sometimes up to 6. Can it be more than 6? No, right? Because the maximum number of digits displayed here is only 6. Okay? So the possible values will either be 3, 4, 5, or 6. Okay? Rest is clear? Alright. Any other questions? If no questions, will you pass your homework down to the front quietly, please? Okay? No need for any discussion, just pass it down to the front. Yes. Eastern. See, how should it be done? I said each question in one line. Yes, each question in one line. Okay, when you develop the review. Okay, I think if I'm not very clear that day. Okay, manual. Say each question in one line. Each question in one line, right? Alyssa. I want the question, then I'll take the answer. Understand? The question, then the answer, then you can take for the correct. Okay, the rest of you are same. Let me just write down. Alyssa and Emmanuel, I expect your homework, okay, to be submitted or returned to me in my locker by the end of today. I know this is your last period, so you jolly well just stay back and get it done. Okay? Then those that did not submit, Carmen, Lucas, Matthias, Xavier, see me after class. Okay? I have instructions to tell you. I don't want to waste my lesson time right now. Alright? Okay? I don't want you to be completing your homework during my lesson time. Don't waste the time, okay, that I'm going to spend talking about other matters. Right? Not multitask. Okay. Now, the last lesson, okay, we were looking at chapter 3.2, right? So can we turn to our textbook page 87 first? Approximation errors in real-world context. Okay, we learned that in certain context itself, RWC means real-world context. Just writing it in short form. Okay. In the last lesson, we covered that we need to look at context itself to decide what is appropriate rounding off sometimes. For example, okay, when you need to book a bus, okay, there was this one example that I gave. When I'm booking a bus, okay, for let's say this class. Okay, and each bus can only seat 20 people, for example. Our class has 33 students. What is the number of buses we need? 2, right? Okay, so therefore we cannot just base on taking 33 divided by 20 and then look at the number and then go by the rounding rules, okay? Because it is not feasible, right? Then last lesson, I also shared with you that when it comes to solving any problems, okay, when we were looking at area of a square, okay, we always need to firstly leave our answer to truncated 5SF first. Okay, then final answer. Okay, if it's possible, you leave it to exact number. Okay, otherwise give an answer to 3 significant figures. This is an exam expectation. Okay, I will explain into greater detail why exam will actually expect in such a manner. So always leave the truncated first exam, then final answer. So looking at another example, okay. Okay, I want us to look at exercise 3B, question 10. Okay, this is what the question says. So the question wants us to find the area of a rectangular field measuring 27.04 meters by 20.21 meters. Okay, so how do I find the area of a rectangle? Length times breadth, right? Okay, so we simply take 27.04 times 20.21. Okay, how do we find the answer? How do we get an answer? Sorry, say again, say something. 27 times 20. What should we do? When you need to multiply 27.04 by 20.21. Use a calculator, precisely, okay? So just use a calculator, what do you get? Can we all press our calculator? What do we have? 546.4784. Okay. Now, this is what your calculator shows. It's a fairly long decimal. Okay. I want you to try pressing your calculator to see whether can it be converted into a fraction or not. Can you try that out? Will you all be able to do that? Try by. Okay, cannot, right? Okay. For sometimes, okay, if you see that you can convert into a fraction, that means it can be left as an exact value, okay, the very, very accurate value. Then we leave it as a fraction, okay. But of course, you must take into consideration the context itself. If you have money, do you think it makes sense to tell the examiner that I have $2.50? No, make sense, right? Usually we say $2.50, 2.50. Okay, so in the context of money, we leave answers in decimal. Okay, but in context like this, okay, if it can be left as a fraction, we try to leave it as a fraction. But we need to have a sensing over here that the answer here is actually exact number. Okay, because the calculator can actually afford to give much more values. Okay, your calculator doesn't write how many digits it can give, but usually it is about 10 digits. Yes. He's scattered into fraction. Okay, then that's good lah. But not all our calculators can. Okay, usually our calculators can give up to 10 digits only. Okay, so I need you to have a sensing to realize that this is an exact number. Okay, so our priority is to leave our final answer to exact if possible first. If cannot, then we do it 3SF. Okay, so we don't need to round off. We just leave it like that. That will be our answer already. You understand? Okay. Then in part 2, okay, how much would it cost to spray insecticide on the field if the rate is 70 cents per square meter? In this particular question, it specifically said to give your answer to the nearest dollar. Okay, so because the question specified an instruction, we follow that new instruction. Okay, only if there's no instruction given, then we go by this final answer expectation. Okay, so part 2, how much would it cost to spray insecticide? on the field if the rate is 70 cents per square meter. I now already know the area, so to find out the cost, okay, I will take 70 cents multiplied by the area. Right? And then pressing that into your calculator, may I know what we have? How many dollars? 382. Okay, 15348. These are the exact numbers you get from your calculator. But the question says leave to nearest dollar. So that means my final answer, what should we have? $383, right? Okay, so we round off to the nearest dollar. So nearest dollar will mean that we look up to 2. Looking at 5, it rounds up. So $383 need to state clearly what you round to, so nearest dollar. Yes, Kacha. Oh, okay. Kacha asked a good question. Can you round off this 546 to 547 first? Then that's 70 cents. Okay? Now, I think it's a question worth thinking. Okay, my answer is no. Okay? Why? Alright? Because if you round off this value, okay, then after that final answer you round off again, end up you will be doing double rounding off. Okay? There might be a double rounding off that you're doing. Okay? And then your answer may not be accurate anymore. Okay? So whenever we round off, try to round off just once only. If you keep on rounding off, okay, so for example, okay, at this part I round up already. Then later on I round up again. Okay? End up I round up twice. So your final answer, okay, may actually be very far away, right, from the accurate answer itself. Okay? So no, we don't do that. We only do a rounding off at the end. Okay? Any other questions? No? Okay? So if no questions, let me just switch over to my laptop. In the meantime, I want you to turn your textbook to page 81. Okay. I'm not sure why you fix your calculator during your next lesson. Okay? I said very clearly the last time I want you to write notes. The notebook is still closed. Okay, I'm very concerned. Right? Okay, start writing notes. And do what you need to do. Not use your calculator. I want us to take a look at this investigation task that we put in the whiteboard, okay? Okay, so this question says that Albert, Nadia, and Shufan were nominated to run for president of the Math Society. Okay, the table shows the votes that they received during the election. Okay, so how do you read the table? You see the three different candidates over here, the number of votes that they received, the percentage of votes there are. Okay, so the percentage of votes is taking this number over here out of the total. Okay, so out of the total itself, how many percent they actually receive? Question 1 says the total percentage of the votes as seen over here is just 99.9%. So the question asks what has happened to the missing 0.1%. So the thing is that because there are only 3 people, total add up should be 100%, right? Because you recognize 100% as the whole itself. Okay, so what exactly happened over here? So that is the thing that we want to investigate. Yes, Ethan, what do you think? They didn't vote, okay? Which is not correct, because all of them voted over here based on 300. Okay, yes.
Some of them voted twice.
Some of them voted twice or thrice. Okay. Yes, Qi. It's not rounded off to 2 decimal place. And then yourself? 100 cannot divide by 3. Why would we divide by 3 when each of them are not receiving equal votes in the first place? Yes, Kitty.
99.9 can be rounded up to 100.
99.9 can round up to 100. Yes, we see that. Okay. But should we be rounding up, John? You want to say? Or is it because Albert, Nadia, and Shufen never vote? Or it isn't? Okay. So, I mean, by right, they shouldn't be voting itself. Just based on the people that are voting, okay, it will be counted over here. Okay, you all got very interesting ideas. Let's do the maths. Okay, we need to look at the maths itself, not just about the context. Okay, so I want us to write in our notebook. Okay, how to write, how to take notes. Don't need to copy the question. Just write down investigation. Okay, that's the textbook, page 81. Okay, we will be looking at question 1. Alright? So, when you try to investigate, okay, how were the votes actually being counted? Okay, so we see that if I want to find the percentage of votes for Albert, that will be taking into account 187 over 300 times 100%. Okay? And we see that we actually get, what do we get? Can you press the calculator? Okay, so let's see 62.333333. Okay, so if you remember just now the rules that I wrote on the whiteboard just now, you erase it, see? We always try to leave an answer to exact first. So is it possible for us to leave the exact number? Not possible. Okay, try pressing your fraction buttons. Okay, we can change it into a fraction, right? Or a mixed number. 62 and 1/3%. Okay? Okay? Then we also do the same to find the percentage of votes for Nadia. That will be 52 over 300 times 100%. And what do we get? What do we get, Francis? See that you're staring at the blank space. Huh? Then you have a classmate beside you, right? Does he not have a calculator too? Come to maths class, must bring calculator. Okay. It should be 17 and 1/3. Okay. Then we also do the same last person for Shufen. Over 300 times 100% and 20 and 1/3. Okay, so now that we did the computation ourselves, okay, if I were to take 62 and 1/3 plus 17 and 1/3 plus 20 and 1/3, will I get 100%? Yes, right? Okay. I just write the calculation here. It should give us 100, right? Okay, so what exactly happened? Okay, why is it that down here ends up 99.9? Okay, yes, okay. So Auntie says that it is because these values over here is only rounded to 1 decimal place. Okay, we know that if you write these fractions here into decimal, it will become 0.333333. If you only round off to 1 decimal place, that means the remaining 3333 were lost in your rounding. Okay, so because all these 3333 were being lost, okay, and every single number over here, you lose those 3333s, okay, they all add up to be something significant, okay, something that will matter, okay, to our entire percentage over here. So we are getting this 99.9% is because of this rounding that we did, okay, because every single number there was a rounding. Every time we round, we lose some numbers, okay, which explains why just now when Haishan asked, can we round off first, then I calculate, okay, my answer is no, because when you round off, you lose some numbers already, then later on you need round off again, you lose even more numbers. Then your answer will no longer be exact. Okay? So therefore, to answer this question, to explain it, okay, from our calculations, we conclude that, okay, the percentage of votes, let me just write it here, okay? Okay, you can either say that it was rounded off to one decimal place, or you can say it is 3SF because the question did not specify. Okay. So due to rounding errors, in intermediate steps, okay, I'll explain in a moment what are intermediate steps. There is a follow-through error. Okay, I give you 30 seconds to write this down first. Okay, this sentence down before I start talking. Follow-through error because it accumulates, it follows through into your final answer. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. Right? So with this idea, this explains to us why is it that, okay, in our numbers, in our calculation, from this point forward, okay, we should always leave our intermediate working, okay, to 5 significant figures, otherwise exact. Okay, so we try to leave this in exact first. If cannot exact, then we do the truncated 5 significant figures. Final answer, okay, then we leave to 3SF. You understand? Okay, so that's why we develop this kind of rules, right, to follow, okay, whereby our intermediate step, we leave to truncated 5SF. Why truncated? Because we notice that if every time I round off, I keep rounding off, then my final answer is not going to be accurate. That's why I just don't round off for intermediate, I just chop off the numbers. Okay? This idea itself is going to take some time for us to actually practice. Okay? I think we will have more opportunity to practice when we go into volume B textbook, when we touch on percentage, ratio rate and all that. Okay, when we do more problem sums from there. Right? At this point, I just want you to remember, okay, that we try to do truncated 5SF, final answer 3SF. Okay, so we'll be reinforcing that. Alright? Any questions? Okay, question 2, I think I'll give it a skip. Okay, the idea is the same, alright, so no point for us to do that. Alright? Okay, next. I think I have to leave my laptop anymore. Okay, next we go into chapter 3.3. 3.3, let me change the figure. That will be estimation and estimation errors. Meaning of approximation and estimation. Okay, estimation is based on our own sensing, okay, rely on ourselves. But then for approximation, we have rules to actually follow, okay, in terms of whether should we round up or should we round down, or are we looking for 3 significant figures, 1 decimal place, and so on. Okay, for estimation, it's really based on yourself, okay, how you calculate mentally. Okay, sometimes I do find it easy to calculate in terms of tens, multiples of 10, but maybe some of you prefer to calculate in multiples of 2. Okay, so each of us have different preferences. Okay, so let's look at practice now 5, question 1. Alright, can I erase this already? Erase, huh? So in question 1, okay, practice now 5. It says that Ali used a calculator to evaluate 798 times 195. And what he got as an answer is 15,561. Okay? Question specified that without doing the actual calculation, that means you cannot use your calculator. Okay, use estimation to determine whether Ali's answer is reasonable or not. Okay, so that is the first part of the question. Right, we want to check for reasonability. Alright, so we use our mental calculation to try to understand 798 times 195. More or less, what should it be actually? Okay, so 798. What is the close estimate that you like to choose for easier mental calculation? You will choose 800, right? Okay. Then for 195, what is the number that you will choose for easier mental calculation? Do we choose 200? Okay, so we times 200. I agree with you, okay, that I will take 800 times 200. But of course, if your parents, okay, since young, have paid a lot of money to train you to calculate mentally, okay, such numbers, and you can give me the exact answer, okay, then that's good. Okay, unfortunately for most of us, even for myself, I don't get that luxury and privilege when my mom sent me for mental calculation training classes. So I also cannot tell you what's this answer without pressing my calculator. Okay, so 800 times 200, okay, that one easy to calculate, right? What would it be? It will be 16,000, right? Because 8 times 2 is 16. Then there are 4 zeros in total. We will put in here. Sorry, it's 160,000. Okay. So now that we have done the mental calculation, we compare this number with what Ali has achieved. Okay, it is nowhere near. Okay. Okay. So very clearly, I know that Ali's answer is not reasonable at all. Okay. So to determine whether Ali's answer is reasonable, through our mental calculation, we see that it is not reasonable. Therefore, we conclude that Ali's answer is not reasonable. Okay? So that's for the first part of the question. Second part asks you to use your calculator. Okay? So using the calculator itself, okay, what will we get? 155610. Okay, maybe it did a transfer error. It missed out 10. Okay, the question actually asks, after using a calculator, is your estimated value close to the actual value? Okay, so our Okay, the actual value is this. Do you find this close? Okay, somewhat close up, right? Okay, so yes, the estimated value is close. Okay, so they are close numbers. Okay. Shall we move on? Right. Let's skip question 2 or skip. Okay, let's look at question 3. Question 3 says the driving distance between Singapore and Malacca is about 250 kilometers. Your father drives at an average speed of 80 kilometers per hour. And then ask you how long do you think it will take for them to drive all the way to Malacca. Okay? So let's do a mental calculation over here. Okay? Let me erase this. We need to first recall our distance speed time formula, right? Okay, you recall that from primary school? DST triangle, right? Okay, so we need to consider about this first. Okay, we're trying to find the time, so we need to take distance divided by the speed. So time equals to distance divided by speed. We see that we have 250 divided by 80. Okay? Now 250 over 80 can be difficult to calculate mentally. Okay? Maybe I tell you very well. It's not the first time I tell you say 3 over 3. Okay? I have purposely intentionally choose to ignore you. Okay? Right? So could you please go back and answer? Okay? So time 250 divided by 80. Right? If I really want to mentally calculate, okay, I want to have an estimation, what will you choose to estimate? 250, you want to choose what number? What number will you want to choose? To divide by 80, isn't it? 240, right? Okay. Because I know that 24 can divide by 8 very nicely. Okay, so that's why I choose 240. Okay, as an estimate of 250, and I see that I will get 3 hours. Okay, so the estimation is 3 hours, okay, of time that's required to drive from Singapore to Malacca. Okay. Next. Okay, let's look at practice now 6. Okay, for practice now 6, it says that a pair of earrings cost 25,000 Indonesian rupiah. The conversion rate is given to be 1,000 rupiah, is about Singapore dollars, not even near 10 cents. Okay, it is 0.095992. Okay, so when it comes to money currency, if you're going to a money changer, okay, they will not give you the very nice number. They will go into very precise. That's why a lot of decimal place, which is of course not feasible for us. Okay, then they will actually go about rounding off lah. Okay. Without using a calculator, we want to estimate the price of the earrings in Singapore dollars. Okay, what would you choose to do? Okay, if I need to pay 25,000 rupiah, I want to do a conversion. Okay, how will you do this mental calculation? Right? Okay, where did my answer is? So I know this already. mentally calculate. We have rupiah 1,000 to be Singapore dollars 0.09599. Okay? What will you choose to do? Will you want to estimate for us this Singapore dollars? Do you understand my question? Do you understand my question? You can say no if you don't understand. Do you understand my question? Okay, my question is, right, 1,000 rupiah is given to me this amount of money. Okay, what will you choose as a sensible number to estimate this 9 cents amount? Okay, is there about 9 cents? I want to estimate, I want to find out 25,000 rupiah is about how much, right? What will you do? Okay, someone have put out. Xavier, your turn has up already. You have expired. Okay, the turn has expired my class today. Yes, please. Round it to 10 cents. How many of you would choose to round this number to 10 cents? Okay, I think this is a logical thing to do, right? So let's round it to 10 cents. Okay, round it 10 cents will make this easier to calculate, right? If I want to find rupiah 25,000 now, right? How much do you think this would be, Evan? $2. 25,000 rupiah is 0.10. So it will be $2. $2.50. Sure? How many of you will agree with Evan? We give $2.50. $25. Now you change this word. $25. Let's take okay. Okay, which one is actually correct? 1,000 to 25,000 we are multiplying by 25, right? It's 25 times. So down here we should multiply by 25 times, right? Times 0.10 should actually be $2.50. Okay? So this is one way to go about estimating the price of the earrings, okay, for this question. Right? Okay? I want us to also think about an alternative way. Okay? I want us to think of another alternative. With the fact that 1,000 rupiah is actually this amount in Sing dollars, okay, I want us to think about what if I want to find out what is 100,000 rupiah. Okay, 100,000 rupiah will be times 100, right? Because it's 100 times. So over here times 100, we move the decimal point to the right 2 times. That's what we learned in primary school, right? Every tens I move one decimal place. So that means that I will get about $9.5992. Okay? So 5992 cents. Right? Okay? So this actually maintains our value quite accurately. I never estimate anything yet. Okay? So then after that, because I want to find 25,000, we know that 100,000 to 25,000 is actually a division of 4. Okay, if you notice that. And then we can take 9.5992 divided by 4. But of course, this is a difficult number to actually calculate without using a calculator. So I choose an estimate that will help me to calculate easily. Maybe I can choose $9.60, which might divided by 4 is 4. So I will get $2.40 thereabout in my estimation operation. Okay? So this is another way that you can think about estimating. Any questions? Okay? Now that we have done two ways of estimating, let's decide and think, okay, what is the more accurate estimate to our actual value? Okay, so if I really use my calculator and I go and find out rupiah 1,000 paying this amount in Sing dollars, okay, that means that 25,000 rupiah will be taking the original amount times 25. I would get about $2.3998. Okay, and I notice that it is closer to this estimate as compared to this estimate. Okay, so this way might actually be a better way, okay, as compared to this one. But of course, my point of this exercise is not, okay, to actually go about deciding, okay, what is the best way. Whether is there only one method to solve this kind of question. This kind of question is really something we see in real life. Okay, it is a skill that we need to have. Okay, in the exam setting, they usually won't go about asking you to estimate. Okay, usually they will tell you how they want you to estimate. Okay, so in the exam it will usually be very clear. But we are not also preparing for exam all the time. We are learning maths to prepare ourselves for real life. Okay, that's why I want us to know, okay, what are the different ways that can help us in estimating. Because next time surely you will go supermarket and buy stuff. Okay, and then you need to know how to do this kind of things easily. Okay, questions? Alright. If no questions, okay, looking at the time now, I shall not go into another question. Next lesson, tomorrow that I will complete this chapter. Okay. So end here for today.